Hi, this is Tim Campsell at Action Coach of Indiana with our Business Spotlight series. The purpose is to interview local businesses and promote them through our social channels and email database. And this is a free service we're providing because when every small business is strong, the economy is strong. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Faith. Welcome, Faith. It's great to have you on the program today.
Hi, Tim, old friend. How you doing?
I
Thanks
am
so much
very
for having
well.
me.
You are most welcome, and thank you for being willing to share your story with us today. So, Faith, before we get into the business side, can you introduce yourself for the audience and give us a little bit of your personal story?
Sure. I'm Faith McKinney. I'm author of Schmingling. It's the art of being well connected through blatant self-promotion. One of the things that I pride myself on is, getting to know everybody. When you come around Indianapolis, they say Faith knows everyone, but what they don't know is that I'm a shy introvert, but I had this superstar that wanted to get out. And so I had to figure out, how do people do that? How can anybody get known? How can anybody, meaning someone who doesn't have, it's not a traditional beauty, doesn't have the money or the car or the fabulous zip code, how can they get known? And so for years I worked on that and I figured out a system, and that's what I wrote about in Schmingling. And now I get to share it with businesses and organizations, teach them how to position themselves, through what we call P.I.E. It's performance, image, and exposure. And I show them how I did it, and I show them practical ways to do it for themselves and their employee resource groups and business organizations. So that's what I get to do.
Fantastic. So, are you originally from Indiana?
I am. My family's from here. My father was born in Mississippi, but came here when he was 2. My mom here, a Hoosier. We're all Hoosiers here. We live in the 462 area code or zip code, and which is Indianapolis, Indiana. And that is the area that I really want to focus on to help people get known, because I feel like outside of the 462 zip code area, people are thriving, but within the inner city of Indianapolis, Indiana, which is 462 zip code, they are, I feel, being left out. And I want to help them to be seen, get known, make their ideas bloom. They always say the richest place in the world are the graveyards, because that's where all the ideas and the discoveries and the inventions go to die, because it's so hard, which is why it's so great that you're doing what you do, Tim, because, I don't think business should be so hard, and you're helping people. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome. And thank you for your kind words. So tell us a little bit more about your business, Faith. Yeah, I love this question. I say to folks, give us your 60-second commercial of your company.
Ooh, Schmingling. It's the art of being well connected through blatant self-promotion for everyday people. I help people every day who are, ordinary people, get seen, get noticed, get media mentions, network with efficiency and authority. Those are the things that I do. And those are the things that I'm great at. Now, business-wise, monetarily, it's not as great as it could be. I haven't found that secret sauce, but man, being able to do what I do, I've interviewed celebrities, Dan Rather, Lee Daniels. He was a director of movies like The Butler, and there's a movie out now that he's done tons of movies. Kirk Franklin, who is a gospel artist, even Mike Pence. I interviewed him shortly before he became the candidate for Vice President of the United States. And one of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that I interviewed people who everybody knew. So if I just stuck with, the gospel artists, only a small segment of America would know. But if I was able to interview other people like Dan Rather, that everybody knew, then that would elevate my credibility.
Yeah.
And so it's an implied endorsement. And that's what I did. And that's what I teach people to do. Get mentions in magazines and get mentions in like I was mentioning Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Ebony, and I show people how to do that too.
Fantastic. And how long have you been doing this, Faith?
So, okay, I printed my first business cards in 2007.
Okay, awesome.
And I wrote my book in 2013.
Wonderful.
So a little bit.
Tell us more specifically, who do you serve, or who's your best client, what we call a target audience?
So my best client right now, I believe, would be those employee resource groups, those organizations who want to help their employees to position themselves to be seen by other, to get raises and promotions, and to put their best foot forward. I mentioned P.I.E earlier, to get that performance, their image, their exposure, and show people how to do that, and show people how I did it, and give them practical tips and practical information on how to position themselves either in media, or how to send relevant articles to those people they want to connect with. That's great. So right now I'm working with a company who is a very large medical manufacturer, and I'm speaking to their employee resource, working with their employee resource group, and I love it. It's helped me raise my bar, my level, and I love that. But my heart is really for the people in the 462 zip code. I want to reach out to them. They may not be the people who can pay the bills, so I have to do the corporate work. But the people within the 462 zip code, that's my heart.
Awesome. So Faith, obviously COVID has had an impact on a number of businesses over the past 18 months. What's the greatest impact it's had on your business?
So for me, it's really just, it's finding a new way to network. I teach people I teach people how to network, and in the past, my MO was going out and being at every event, pressing hands, with everyone and taking selfies. But now it's like, oh, wow, this has opened up a whole new world. I've connected with people all over the world. I've got a man in Australia who does augmented reality. I've got people in Boston and in the Portland area and in San Francisco that I've met that I could call and network with, in New York. So it's really expanded my reach. Everybody being home, Zoom and virtual meetings are nothing now. It's like the norm. And I get to stay home. I don't have to put on heels to go anywhere. But
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate it. I do miss going out and moving a lot more, but I appreciate being able to have access to so many people all over the world.
Yeah. So you just alluded to it, but we all have had to pivot in order to survive during the crisis as well. So what's one action that you took differently that enabled you to be able to keep your business moving during the pandemic?
Being open and doing things that I wouldn't ordinarily do. So one of the things the reason I got, or one of the ways that I was able to attract a business partner in the company that I'm working with now, is through a book club. And ordinarily, I don't know if I would have joined a book club, but that was something that I said, you know what, I need to stretch. And I joined a book club, and in that was a lot of very successful women. And we got to, kind of be a little vulnerable inside that book club. And one woman asked if I would speak to her employee resource group. She's a VP of that company in human resources. And I said, wow, okay, great. Yeah. So that was a pivot. That was something that I decided to, do. And now I am doing I'm doing a boot camp for tech, right? So I'm a granny who codes now. Because my next goal is to connect with the tech community. I feel like within the 462 zip code, it's a gap. It's a huge gap. And the tech community, the tech industry has the jobs that we need, and it has it would being within that community, you would get so much access to people and resources, and it's just sitting there waiting for us. But I have to understand what I'm telling other people. So if I'm going to say, hey, you should take coding, you should take up web development, I have to do it first. I
Right.
don't believe in not in telling people to do something and I don't even know what I'm talking about. So it's hard. It's no joke. And I haven't even started, but I'm determined to finish it. I'm determined to do it. And being home in this kind of pandemic environment, being home, I'm able to kind of concentrate, not have that FOMO, fear of missing out, feeling like I should be somewhere else. Right now I need to be here.
Right. Yeah. I appreciate that. Here's an interesting question, Faith. It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So what's a mistake you've made along the way that you'd be willing to share so that other entrepreneurs can learn from your experience?
So one of the it kind of goes with your question. One thing that I would have done would be to get a mentor along the way. And I did not attend or finish college. And there are a lot of people who are able to be mentors or at least, connect you to people. I didn't do that. I kind of went rogue. And I feel like there are a lot of things and a lot of shortcuts that I could have taken had I had a good mentor. And I know there are organizations in Indianapolis, in and around Indianapolis, that can help. And now I understand their purpose. Now I know why they're so important. So getting a mentor and getting somebody to help guide you, like you, Tim, is the most important thing and can shave off thousands of dollars, years of work and pain and heartache, basically heartache. And and so getting the right person to help you. So yeah, that's where you come in.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, I was talking to someone earlier today and I shared with them that I can be coaching my clients on a specific area of their business and tell them all, give them all some guidance and direction. But then I have my coaching session with my coach and she points out the same thing in my business. It's like, oh no. So yes, I agree. Everybody needs a mentor, and even those who are mentors need mentors.
Yep. And you don't want someone who doesn't have a mentor. If you really need somebody who is being coached or has been coached, and that can, draw upon their wisdom and their insight and their perspective. So that's what you want. You want someone who is not just leaning upon their own understanding. They are seeking wise counsel.
Yes, indeed. So here, next question here, Faith, is what do you feel is going to be your biggest challenge that your business is going to face over the next 12 months?
Over the next 12 months, my biggest challenge really is getting a system to monetize and to run. So with this this company that I'm working with now, it's raised the bar. It's elevated my content, the way I deliver. It's challenged me, but it's good because I needed that. I needed to know what is the gold standard for what I'm doing. And now I can systematize it, get a framework for all of that so that it's not such a burden later on when I get more clients and being able to market and say, hey, these are the 3 or 4 things that I talk about. And that's what I talk about. I'm not customizing everything. If it's just too much. It's not within my wheelhouse. But if you want somebody to speak to these 3 things, then I will be your person, and to have everything laid out from start to finish to follow up. That's my challenge. And also, being able to ask for the money. Say, hey, this is how much I charge. And when I told how much I charged to this one company, I kind of, I got a lump in my throat. I'm like,
yeah.
Like, oh my God, okay, I'm actually gonna say this. But they didn't blink. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I can do this, and this is valuable to them. And if it's valuable to them, it's going to be valuable to hundreds of other organizations.
Yeah.
So now I have the quality, I have the verbiage, I know what people want. I can just put it out there now, whereas before I had no clue.
Sure. Yeah, I love that you touched on what I'll call internal confidence. So one of the things my coach told me a couple years ago is, hey, Tim, when you believe you're worth this much, you'll start attracting clients that are willing to pay that much. And so, the lump in your throat that you alluded to, right? If we don't believe that we're worth what we're asking, then our clients, our prospects won't either. But as soon as we know and trust that we're providing that value, then we're going to have clients who are willing to pay that much for our services. Yeah.
Yep. Just get over that. And the person that recommended me for that role was very because we shared that book club experience. She was really helpful in guiding me. She would give me some clues and tips where it'd be like, just between us, well, we usually pay this much, and I'm like, okay.
Nice.
She knew.
Yeah, that's awesome. Fantastic. Well, second last question here, Faith. We'll get your contact information included along with this video so that folks know how to get in touch with you. But is there anything else that you want to make sure that we cover today?
Yes, I want to make sure that what I do when I help people to get media mentions. It's the things that like PR companies get paid, thousands of dollars every month to do. And so I do that on a personal level. So for instance, I'm not helping companies do that. I'm helping individuals do that, and how to find those opportunities to get media mentions. And with that, you elevate your credibility, you're able to share, and you're able to get more earned media. And so that's one thing that I help with, and with networking, to connect, because now more than ever, especially when we can't be out, it's important to build those strong connections so that it can take you where you really want to go. But what I want people to know is that I'm here to help. I'm here to be a resource for others, to connect you, to introduce you. That's what I do.
Fantastic. So if people want to learn if you're the right person for them, how do they go about that?
So you can go on to my website, faithmckinney.com, and we can schedule a 30-minute consult and just say, hey, let's get to know each other and see if I can help you. If not, hey, it's no harm, no foul, but I'd love to connect. I want to see where, what you're up to, because I usually know other people who could use your services. Oh man, Tim, I got people in internships at Tyler Perry Studios. I helped a small business get $5 million in seed money in less than 24 hours. I mean, I don't know if I could do that again, but these are the things that happen when you have great connections. So, give me a shot. Maybe I can help.
Fantastic. So we'll make sure to include that website along with this video so folks can book that 30-minute session with you. That is awesome. I appreciate your generosity with your time. So last question here, Faith. What's been most inspiring to you during all the craziness of the past year and a half?
Most inspiring really is being able to enjoy the peace of my home. Not everybody has that. And knowing that I can come home and it's a peaceful, loving environment. It's not fancy, but it's ours. And I appreciate that. And so I love connecting with people, but I love the peace and tranquility of home. And I want everybody to be able to enjoy that in their own space.
That's fantastic. I love the way you just described that. Earlier, you mentioned that you're an introvert. So your home is where you recharge. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I'm an introvert with extrovert tendencies, I guess. I've always wanted to be an extrovert. I wanted to always, I wanted to walk into a room where somebody knows me. One of the things I hated was having to introduce myself and proving my value everywhere I went. And so the reason I wanted to be known is so that wherever I went, somebody already knows who I am, and I didn't have to prove it. I always had a referral. Oh yeah, that's Faith McKinney. Yeah, she does this and she does that, and she knows everybody. And so that would automatically raise my credibility within other people's eyes, and I wouldn't have to work so hard. But yeah, that was my goal, and I've
Awesome.
achieved that.
Yeah, congratulations. Good for you.
Thank
So
you.
that does conclude our interview. For those listening, if you've heard something that's piqued your interest, if you feel like Faith might be able to help you in your personal development or your business, please take advantage of that offer to have that 30-minute consultation with her. And again, I'll provide the contact information along with this video. So please reach out to Faith and see how she can help you. Also, as a thank you for appearing on the show, everybody gets a complimentary coaching session. So Faith, we'll talk about that offline here in a minute. It's been a pleasure reconnecting with you and learning about your journey and your business. And I wish you tremendous success, Faith.
All the same to you and your family, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.